Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So I'm going to be doing a reading on the full moon in Scorpio, and my tarot readings are timeless. So if you come across this reading after the full moon passes, which is May the 7th, the messages still might apply to you anyway. So just keep that in mind. And I won't be doing an extended video. Usually with these videos, I'll do an extended reading where I'll charge for people to watch, but I'm not going to do that for this one. I'm just going to make this reading extra long. So if you want to leave a tip, you can go ahead and do that, since I won't be doing an extended video, and I'll leave the tip jar / my PayPal link in the description box and in the pinned comment. So we're going to dive right into this. I did meditate before I pulled cards, and the word that I was hearing for the Scorpio full moon is redemption. So it looks like a lot of people are going to be remembering or recalling a time period where they just did not show up as the best version of themselves. So it's like a time period where basically their shadow came forward and they are feeling very ashamed of that. Even though that's a natural part of being human, a lot of people, when they hold themselves to a certain standard and they don't reach that standard, they can feel a lot of shame for that, and for behaving a certain way and things of that sort. So a lot of people are going to be feeling that shame, and they can take two directions. They can choose to let the shame drown them and consume them, and for them to say, well, this is just who I am, I'm just a failure, you know, things of that sort. Or they could take the route of redemption and they can redeem themselves. This just reminds me of a quote that I saw someone share on Instagram that said, you know, where there's life, there's hope. You can always rebuild. So if you're still alive and breathing, there's still hope for you to turn your life around, no matter how ashamed you are of, you know, your past actions and the things that you have, you know, taken part in. There's always an opportunity for you to redeem yourself. And for redemption, you simply have to start acting like the opposite of what you've been like in your past. You see what I'm saying? And the only thing that will really stand in your way is the thought that you can't redeem yourself. If you think to yourself that you can't, that it's too far gone, that you're just too ashamed of, you know, who you used to be, then you won't be able to redeem yourself if that's what's in your mind. But if you are able to tell yourself, like, I'm a human being and I am subject to error, like I can make mistakes because I am a human being and that's what human beings do. And I am not my mistakes. I am not my shortcomings. I am not my past negative behavior. I can redeem myself. I can become a new person and release that old version of yourself and step into this new version of yourself that's calling for you on this new path. And so the Scorpio full moon is like a fork in the road. You can choose to, you know, go down that path of like shaming yourself, you know, for those past incidents, or you can choose this other road of really truly redeeming yourself and transforming yourself completely. And it's going to be very, very important that you believe that you can redeem yourself. And I have to repeat this because if you don't believe that you are worthy of redemption and that you can redeem yourself, you'll constantly slide backwards into your past, because there's going to be people who will be there to remind you of your past, you know, even if they're not purposely reminding you of it. Like maybe you'll run into an ex and you'll remember how you were in that relationship. Like, oh, I let this person mistreat me so much, or my self-esteem was so low. Even if that ex doesn't say a word to you, just you seeing them can remind you of who you were in that past relationship. And if you are not in the right headspace when it comes to redemption, you will just slide backwards into identifying with that old version of yourself. But if you're in the right headspace and you're thinking, no, I have redeemed myself, I am not that anymore, even seeing that ex won't cause you to kind of backslide into a negative mindset. And then there's going to be the people who actively try to remind you of your past downfalls. Like they actively come to you like, oh, I remember when you used to be like that. Like, don't try to act like you're brand new now. I remember when you used to be like this and that. And it's like, you can't allow those types of people to let you slide backwards into that mentality of who you once were. That's why you have to have a very strong mindset when it comes to this redemption process. You have to know and believe that you can truly transform and not just fake it. You see what I'm saying? You have to know it very deeply and internally that you are a new person. And don't just try to be like a new person to hide the old person. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to transform completely into this new person, so that when other people try to remind you of your past, or your mind starts to slip backwards to who you used to be, you won't feel that shame. All right, so that was the message before the card. So let's dive into it and let's see what healing messages come through for you. So the first card out is the Taurus card, and it was in the reverse. So with the Taurus card being here in the reverse, naturally the first word I think of is stubborn. Being stuck in a certain way of doing things, being stuck in a certain mindset. But what I'm feeling for a lot of you is that you're angry that you're stuck in this mindset, which is good, because angry means that you're ready to take action. Because some of you, I just feel this energy of being very frustrated, like I've been in this space for too long, like I need to get out, and you're starting to just feel really frustrated with yourself, like feeling very frustrated that you keep telling yourself that you need to do better, but you're not doing better. And like I said, this may be a good thing because anger sometimes can cause you to take action, but make sure you're taking action with the anger. Every time you feel that anger, get up and do something about it. Don't just feel it and then shame yourself for feeling it. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, you've been wanting to start a new project, right? And you're getting frustrated with yourself because you've been telling yourself, I need to start this, I need to start this. And you keep telling yourself this, but you're somehow still procrastinating and you're getting frustrated. Whenever you get frustrated, get up and do something to work towards that project. You see what I'm saying? If you get frustrated and angry and then you just kind of sit in that anger, all you're doing is like shaming yourself in that moment. You see what I'm saying? Use the anger as fuel, not as a way to shame yourself, you know? Use it as fuel to make that change. Use it as fuel to take a step or a certain action that you have been putting off. And then you'll come to find that you are not as stuck as you once thought that you were. I'm also hearing repressed anger for some of you. So for some of you, there is anger that is beneath the surface that needs to be transmuted or expressed. So anger could be transmuted in a couple different ways. You could punch a punching bag, you can punch a pillow, you can scream into a pillow, you can go to the gym and work out. It's like you're needing to burn off some anger or some excess anger that's been lingering. And I feel like for some of you, this anger is the thing that may have been keeping you stuck in a certain mindset for a very long time. Like maybe there is a grudge that you are holding that you can't seem to let go of, and you're needing to transmute it. It's stuck inside of your body. You're needing to move the energy from the inside to the outside. And so that's why, you know, when some people get angry, you see they'll punch walls or they'll punch people, which I don't recommend doing. It's like you need to, they're doing that to move that anger out of their bodies. And even though sometimes it might not be in the best way, it's their body's natural way of knowing like this needs to be moved outside of me. So like I said, punch a pillow, punch something that isn't human that will send you to jail. Let's put it that way. I myself have a method where, I mean, it's been working pretty well for me. Basically, I just take like a pile of blankets and I put them on top of a box, and then I have a yardstick and I literally just beat the shit out of the blankets with my yardstick. I kid you not, it works. My sister thinks it's so funny because I call the yardstick my angry stick, and she'll just hear me like in the room just like beating the hell out of my blankets, and sometimes a stuffed animal on top of it. You know, just beating the hell out of it because I have a lot of repressed anger and it needs to be moved out of my body, and I refuse to let it just sit and fester inside of me. So yeah, some of you may want to adopt that method. That's what I use, and it really does work. So if you are holding a grudge of some sort, that could be something that is keeping you stuck, and that may be something that is holding you back. I'm also getting the Uranus card. So the Uranus card is about shocks, like a shock or like a revelation, a sudden shift or something happening unexpectedly, something that's shocking or surprising. And some of you, that's what your anger is connected to. It's connecting to something that shocked you. It's connected to something that you wanted to hold on to for a very long time, and then suddenly it was taken from you, or suddenly it was snatched from you. And that could be anything. That could be like your peace of mind was taken from you suddenly, or maybe someone passed away suddenly, or, you know, maybe this job, you got fired from it suddenly. It's like something that you were comfortable with. You felt like it was going to be around for a very long time. There was some sort of comfort in it, and then suddenly, boom, it's gone. And that can cause a lot of grief. And on top of that grief, it can cause a lot of anger. And so that's why for a lot of you, you may be needing to transmute anger associated with that. Because when your sense of stability is shaken up, yeah, you have every right to be angry about that. Every right. Even if it was something that happened that was in no one else's control, you can still be angry about it. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes things happen that literally it was no one's fault. It was out of everyone's hands. You can still be angry about it. But for some of you, for a lot of you, I'm hearing that it actually did involve other people, that someone could have taken something from you or did something to shake up like something that you thought would be around for a long time or that you thought was a short thing. And you could be very angry at specific people or a specific person, and you're really needing to transmute that anger. Please don't fight them or beat them up. Try not to, at least. Try to transmute it in a way that is, legal. We don't want you in jail, because I'm feeling a lot, and I'm not even joking when I say this, because I'm feeling a lot of aggression from these cards, for sure. For a lot of you, I'm also hearing that this Uranus card is talking about a sudden shift in your own mindset. Like you're seeing things, like the Scorpio full moon can cause you to see things drastically differently than what you've been seeing them for the past couple of months or possibly the past couple of years. It's like your mindset is completely and totally shifting in a good way, though, because I'm feeling a lot of new ideas, like a lot of new solutions. Like you are figuring out solutions to problems that you've been stuck in for a while. Like you've not known how to get yourself out of certain issues. Like there's certain things that have been going on and you're just like, I don't know the solution to this. Like I just really don't know what to do about this. And the Scorpio full moon it's almost like it causes like a solution to download into your mind just randomly, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I didn't see this before. Like this clearly is the perfect solution for this, to get me out of this rut or to get me out of this problem. I don't know why I didn't see it like this before, but suddenly you're going to see it very clearly, and then all you have to do is take action on it. And for a lot of you, whatever ideas you're getting, they have a lot to do with stability. So if you are right now in a place where you feel unstable, you're moving towards stability based off of the actions that you take, by the ideas that you get from the Scorpio full moon. So pay very attention to your intuitive downloads, pay very close attention to the ideas or the solutions that you come up with during the Scorpio full moon, because if you actually take action and act on those solutions, you are moving towards a place of stability that's going to last for a very long time. So if that's what you've been craving, if you've been craving stability, this is now your opportunity to start creating it, is what I'm seeing. Okay, sorry if the audio sounds slightly different. I had to adjust my microphone. But moving on to the next two cards, we have the King of Cups in reverse and we have the Ordinariness card. All right. So the Ordinariness card talks about peace, having peace of mind. I'm hearing routine. So, excuse me, this is the peace of mind that comes from having a routine that benefits you rather than a routine that is self-destructive, because some of us do have routines that well, put it this way, all of us have routines that we follow every day, right? Even if we don't have like a set time, we still have repetitive things and habits that we do on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes those things are in direct misalignment with our peace, meaning they take us far away from our peace. And it's not really, your fault all the time, because some of us have dysfunctional patterns that we have picked up from living in dysfunctional places, from being around dysfunctional people. And so those dysfunctional habits have been kind of forced on us, and then we kind of just take them with us no matter where we go. And so the Scorpio full moon, there's going to be an opportunity for a shift to change these dysfunctional sort of habits and replace them with peaceful habits, things that bring you peace. And don't think that this is going to be something that's easy, because a lot of people might hear, oh yeah, choose peace, choose a routine that makes you feel at peace. For a person who was maybe raised in a peaceful environment, or a person who has just been around peace a lot, they might think that should be easy, right? Shouldn't that be the thing that you want? Shouldn't you want peace? But no, because if peace is not something that you are familiar with, then peace can feel like chaos to you. And peace can feel like the harder option. Like sometimes when you have been prone to dysfunction, you gravitate towards dysfunction. You see what I'm saying? So this is going to be something that's going to take active willpower to actually formulate routines and day-to-day activities that bring you peace, and you have to have the willpower to stick to them, because they might feel weird and it might feel off. It might feel like it might actually make your body feel anxious, because some of you associate peace with something's about to go wrong. Like maybe throughout life, whenever you felt like this small stretch of peace, suddenly something catastrophic will happen. So now in your mind, whenever you have a time of peace, your body feels anxious, like something bad is about to happen, because that's what you've experienced in the past. And so you have to have the willpower to push through that uncomfortable feeling, and to kind of retrain your brain to know like that you're safe and that you're fine. You have to get comfortable with peace, pretty much. You know, like just any habit that you have to get comfortable with, like, oh, you'll get used to it. Like when you start a new job and you just don't know what the hell you're doing, and it's like, don't worry, you know, you'll get used to it as time goes on. It's kind of like that. You have to treat peace, or choose peace in that way. You'll get used to it as time goes on. But also, when it comes to choosing peace on a day-to-day basis, you have a lot more free time on your hands, because dysfunctional things usually occupy your mind. Destructive things, like if you've been in a destructive relationship, you know this. You know that your time is taken up with the arguing, the fighting, the pain, the destruction. If you're in a peaceful relationship, suddenly you have a lot more free time on your hands. And that, you know, that might sound like a good thing, but if you have a lot of things suppressed inside of you that you have not looked at and dealt with, then that might not be a good thing for you, because suddenly you have a lot of time to sit and think, and suddenly you don't have any distractions, you know, to distract you from what's going on inside of you. So if you do choose peace and choose to, you know, break through these dysfunctional patterns and habits, just be aware that you are going to probably have to face some emotional blockages, turmoil, pain, hurt. You may have to face those, because when you choose peace, your mind is clear, and your mind can now focus on what's going on internally. So, but that's a good thing, right? Because we want to address those emotional issues that we have within us. We want to address those things. We can't run from them forever, especially those of you who have experienced abandonment in your life, where you felt very vulnerable and people have walked out on you and left you at your lowest. You may be doing that to yourself in a way now, through your distractions, through your dysfunction. That's a way of you distracting yourself and running away from your pain. So you're kind of abandoning yourself in a way. And so choosing peace on a day-to-day basis is going to give you the room and the space to now pay very close attention to yourself. It will be painful. More than likely, it will be painful, but don't be afraid to sit with yourself and sit with that pain. And you don't always have to do it alone. You know, that doesn't mean you have to like sit in a dark room and just crumble inside. You know, you can have a support system. You know, you can have like a friend that's there with you when you're crying or when you're facing these things. You know, you can have a support system. So don't think that this is something you just have to do on your own. You know, because we didn't come into this world alone. I know that's that's something that people say, like, oh, you know, we came here alone, we die alone, like all we need is ourselves. That's actually not true. I want to know what person actually came into this world by themselves. Like, where did you come from? Did you fall from a tree? Did you fall from the sky? Because most people come, I'm assuming that a majority of people came to this world through their mother. And their mother couldn't even create them on their own. They had to also have a father. And a lot of people were born in hospitals with doctors, or they were born with a midwife. Or point being, no, we did not come into this world alone. We did not. And so we don't have to go through these terribly painful things alone. And so, like I said, when you're choosing to face this emotional turmoil within, yes, some of it will have to be done alone and in, you know, on your own, but there's nothing wrong with having a very good support system. You know what I'm saying? To lighten your load. So keep that in mind. And as you heal and as you face these things within you that really have hurt you, you are moving towards mastering yourself. You are moving towards that ideal version of you that you have in your head. You're moving towards that as you face these emotional blockages and these this emotional turmoil within that, you know, you may have been running from or distracting yourself from for a long time. So the next two cards are the Seven of Pentacles and the Inner Voice card. Okay. So the inner voice card in the reverse lets me know that some of you have been out of touch with your intuition, which I'm not surprised about, especially if your mind is not at ease and your mind isn't at peace. You could have like a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety and things of that sort. And it's very hard to hear your intuition through all of those fears, those doubts and things of that sort. This could also be outside people who are leading you in the wrong direction, is what I'm hearing. Listening too much to outside people and not going within. And I'm hearing different, wow, okay. I'm hearing a lot of different messages. Let me see if I can sort through this. For some of you, this is outside people purposely trying to mislead you. So outside people giving you advice, knowing that it's going to take you off the wrong, knowing that it's going to put you on the wrong course. Be careful of this. Be careful of who you're taking advice from. Just be very careful. And I know it's ridiculous to think that there are people who actually do this. Yes, there are. It reminds me of, there's this, I guess you would call it a fable. I'm just going to paraphrase it because honestly, I don't even remember it too much in depth, but I remember the gist of it. Basically, there was a porcupine and a fox, right? So the fox tells the porcupine, you know, why do you have all those spikes all over you? You know, and the porcupine's like, oh, you know, this is just how I am. This is just how I'm made. And the fox is like, well, you know, those spikes are just, they're out of style. You know, you need to go and shave those off. You look silly. People are going to laugh at you. So the porcupine's like, oh, you know, I don't want people to laugh at me. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, get these, you know, what are they called? Are they called spikes? Quills? We're going to call them spikes. I'm going to get these spikes, you know, shaved off of me, you know, because I don't want to look silly, you know, taking the fox's advice. So the porcupine goes, you know, to go and get the spikes shaved off, and he runs into an owl before he gets there. And the owl goes, you know, where are you going? And the porcupine's like, I'm going to get my spikes shaved off because, you know, the fox said that they look silly and that people will laugh at me. And the owl goes, well, you know, you might as well, you know, find some fruit and rub it on your skin after you, you know, get the spikes shaved. And the porcupine's like, well, why is that? And the owl's like, you know, to make yourself more delicious because the fox is going to eat you. After you shave those spikes off, he plans to eat you. So, you know, might as well make yourself more delicious since you're already going to do the work of shaving those spikes off for him. I mean, yeah, for him to eat you. So pretty much the fox gave the porcupine advice with the intention of eating him. Like, he didn't really think that the porcupine looked silly or that other people would laugh at him. He purposely misled him into getting his spikes cut off so that he could eat. It'll be easier for him to eat him. And there are people who are like this. They will give you advice to purposely steer you down the wrong direction because it benefits them in some way, shape, or form. Be very careful of this. Be very mindful of this. I hope I told that story right. I feel like I explained the gist of it. So just be very, very mindful of this. I feel like the Scorpio full moon will reveal that to you anyway. I feel like that's what I'm picking up on, is that the Scorpio full moon will reveal to you the people who have been purposely like misleading you, so that you can distance yourself from them, especially people who have gaslighted you in some way, because I'm feeling that, gaslighting, people manipulating your reality and things of that sort. Just very abusive and gross. I can't stand gaslighting. For those of you who don't know what gaslighting is, it's when somebody purposely tries to make you question your own reality. So they do something wrong to you and you confront them with it. They'll flat out lie and tell you like, no, I didn't do that. Or they'll say something to you and then later on they'll be like, no, I didn't say that. But they know that they actually said it. They know that they actually did it, but they don't want to admit to it. They are trying to basically skew and warp your reality so that they can get away with what they've done. And also you end up feeling off balance and you don't trust yourself at that point. So you'll end up constantly going to them for validation or going to them for answers because you don't trust your own intuition now because they've gaslighted you so much. So that's what gaslighting is. It'll be revealed to you in the Scorpio full moon energy. It probably already has been revealed to you. Very dangerous. Stay away from people who do this. I'm also hearing with the inner voice card in reverse that some of you are seeking answers too much outside of yourself. And this could be in different ways. This could be going and asking people for advice. This could be watching tarot readings. It's like there's nothing wrong with getting answers outside of yourself, but you shouldn't rely too heavily on them. You have to get in tune and get in touch with your own emotions and your own feelings. Only you truly know the answers deep down inside. So it's okay for you to get advice from people outside of yourself, but, you know, take that information that they give you and sit and meditate with it, you know, and figure out what your heart is telling you, which way you should move based off of what your heart says. You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind if you've been getting outside advice a lot. The Scorpio full moon energy may be the perfect opportunity to take all that advice that you've gotten and to maybe sit, in meditation, sit in prayer, and, kind of figure out which direction you want to go in from there. With the Seven of Pentacles card being here, this is about, figuring out what the best, how do I put this? Where to invest your energy into, what's smartest to invest your energy into. And this goes along with what I said about you needing to be in touch with your own heart, with your own intuition, because you can be easily misled by other people when you're full of fear, when you're full of doubt. You can be misled by other people, and then you can put your energy into the wrong things, you see, and then you'll manifest the opposite of what you actually wanted because you have put your energy into the wrong things. Like, for example, let's say that you have a friendship with someone, right? And it's something shady about this friend. Like, you have a feeling about this friend, but you're not really that in tune with your intuition. So you just kind of brush it off like, maybe I'm just being paranoid, But this friend is constantly leading you down the wrong path. So you're constantly investing your energy and your time into this friendship because what do you want back? You want a healthy, happy friendship back. You want that fulfillment of having, that friend and that companion in your life, right? You're actually manifesting the opposite. You're manifesting a very shady friend and a shady friendship. It's continuing with this friend because of the fact that you're not in tune with your intuition. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you're not in tune with yourself and with your heart space and you don't trust yourself, you'll put your energy into the wrong things and then you will manifest the wrong things. And you'll kind of sit there like, damn, how did I end up manifesting this? Like you end up with like a big pile of shit pretty much. And you're like, how did I end up manifesting this? This is not the intention that I set. I set the intention of having a healthy relationship. I set the intention of having a healthy friendship. I set the intention of having a good job. How did I end up broken, drained, broke? How did I end up like this? And that's because your intention was there, but your intuition was off. And so you ended up investing into the wrong thing, the wrong person, the wrong job. And so you actually manifested the opposite of what you wanted. And that's what happens when you are not in tune and not in touch with your intuition. So be very mindful of that. Let's see the next two cards. We have the 10 of Pentacles and we also have the Adventure card. Okay, so the Adventure card, one of my favorite cards in the deck, it's like a little child kind of wandering and exploring, and they find like this rainbow. You can see it on the actual card. It's on the right hand side, the card that says Adventure. And so I always see this card as like the inner child, your inner child being that part of you that truly helps you to manifest the things in life that you will really enjoy. Because sometimes as we grow older, right, we lose sight of what actually is going to make us happy because we get bombarded with messages from society of what is supposed to make us happy. You see what I'm saying? Like as we get older, it's like, oh, you need to want marriage because that's what's going to make you happy. It's like, and you're like, your mind is bombarded with it. So you'll end up like, but I don't really want to be married. Like deep down inside, you're like, oh, I don't really want that. But society kind of says that that's what's going to make you happy. Like that's the dream, marriage, kids, white picket fence, a certain lifestyle is what society says was going to make you happy. Or maybe, there's a part of society that says like certain name brands or a certain amount of money or having certain clothes or like having certain cars, things of that sort will make you happy. And maybe you deep down inside will not even enjoy those things, but society says it'll make you happy. So you kind of go towards those things because it's being programmed that it'll make you happy. But your inner child is that part of you that has not been programmed by society, has not been programmed by the people around you, by your upbringing necessarily. Like this is the part of you that is still connected to your heart space and still knows deep down inside what's going to make you happy. Like as a child, like those things that just brought you that innocent like pleasure, like those things that you just really enjoyed. Like for example, I think about my nephew. My nephew is 4 years old and he loves music, and it's so pure. It's a pure it's like a pure desire of his to create music. Nobody taught him how to do it. No one forced it onto him like, here, you're going to be a musician, because he's so little, he's so young. He gravitates towards it naturally. Whenever he sees like something that he can bang on, that like he sees it as drums, he'll bang on it. When we used to go to church, he would like run to the keyboard and bang on the keyboards in the church. Any opportunity he has to create music, he'll create it. And it's not something that society has pushed on him or his parents or anyone. It's something that's so pure that he's going to enjoy. And so naturally, as he grows older, that's going to be something that he's going to naturally derive happiness from. You see? So there's a need to get in touch with your inner child, because your inner child knows what's truly fulfilling to you and what's truly going to make you happy. And that's what you need to go towards in order for you to have long-term happiness and long-term stability. A lot of you have been wanting this long-term happiness and stability for so long, and you can't for the life of you understand why you want it and why you've been walking towards it, but you can't get it. And even if you do get it, it's like it's unfulfilling when you get it. It's miserable when you get it. You're like, oh, this job is going to be so fulfilling to me. I'm going to make this amount of money and it's going to be so good. And then you manifest it and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, I still feel depressed. I still feel like something's off, like something's missing. It's a very good chance that you're not connected to your inner child. You're not connected to your heart space. You're not connected to what you truly, truly want, and what's truly going to make you happy. So it's a need for you to maybe sit and just explore like what things you used to love when you were a child. If you can't remember, maybe, if you have a family member who knew you as a child, ask them, like, what did I used to do as a child? What did I do all day? Like, I asked one of my family members this exact question, and they were like, you daydreamed a lot. Like, you were always like daydreaming. You loved like fantasy books, mermaids, fairy tales, things of that sort. Like, those are the things that, made you happy. Those are the things that you were always drawn towards. And as I got older, that kind of shifted sort of into more like spirituality, spiritual practices and things of that sort, but they're along the same wavelength. You see what I'm saying? So it's a need for you to really get in tune with the things that you really loved when you were a child. And also as a child, I was definitely drawn towards the occult. I was drawn towards like shows about like demons, vampires. So you can see like you can see what I mean when I say it was like destined for me to walk this path of like spirituality and to have this path of like wanting to study the occult, esoteric knowledge and things of that sort. It was like something that my heart was always calling me towards, even as a child. And it's something that genuinely makes me happy. So there's a need, like I said, for you to really, really, really figure out what it is that you used to really get in touch with or in tune with as a child that made you happy, and figure out how you can incorporate that into your path moving forward, because that is going to be something that is going to be fulfilling to you. It's how you're going to manifest this long-term stability and this long-term happiness. And there is a common misconception that the things that your heart desires, like your passions, that they can't be turned into long-term wealth, when actually that's the main way to acquire long-term wealth. I feel like a lot of people are shifting away from that mindset of like, oh, you're an artist, you can't be an artist, like you'll starve, you got to go and get you a real job. Like, people are shifting out of that now. Now it's very like it's common now for people to be like, I'm an artist and I feel like I want to do that full time. That's something that is actually feasible now. A long time ago, or not even that long ago, I would say like just a few years ago, that maybe wasn't feasible. If you went to your parents and said, oh, I want to be an artist, they'd be like, no, you'll starve. Absolutely not. You're going to be a doctor, whatever. Now it's doable. It's absolutely doable. And so there's a need for you to really get in touch with your inner child and to walk down that path that your inner child is calling you to walk down, because that's what's actually going to help you to manifest this 10 of Pentacles, this long-term happiness, this long-term stability, especially with your finances. Specifically, finances is going to be, your finances will be amazing if you actually follow what your inner child is calling you to do. I'm telling you, you'll make more money than you've ever made in your life. And I'm hearing that message very, very loud and clearly. You'll make more money than you've ever made in your life. You think, like, you have a plan in your head about, okay, I'm going to make this money. And so you try to take like a certain path, or you have certain plans to make a certain amount of money and you keep coming up short, this is why. This is the ingredient that's missing, is the passion from what your inner child is calling you to do. That's the secret ingredient that's going to lead to you making a lot more money and to you being a lot more financially stable moving forward. All right, so I'm going to pull one more. I feel like I want to pull a card for just like something that you can actually do tomorrow, like something that you can do that will help you. All right, let me just pull one more card. All right, so I was trying to figure out exactly what my guides were trying to tell me, because I kept hearing pull another card for an activity. So it's like an activity, I guess something that you're being asked, like spirit is asking you to do physically. Like, it's one thing to receive these messages and to kind of think about them and meditate on them, but I was getting called to pull cards for something that you can actually do. So we'll see. This is the first time I'm actually like hearing this like in one of my readings, so we'll see how this goes. So I got the mature man card, the family room card, and the journey card. Okay, so from this mature man card, what I'm hearing is that you're being asked to sit down with a piece of paper, maybe if you have a journal, you know, pull that out, and you're being asked to write down who you see yourself being 5 years from now, who you would like to be 5 years from now. So you're going to sit down and you're going to basically write out a list of your characteristics in the next 5 years. So like, would you like to be someone who travels? Would you like to be someone who is financially independent? Would you like to be someone who is able to give advice to other people who, you know, are going through the same thing that you have gone through? I'm just seeing basically with this card to sit down and actually draw out, or not, if not draw out, write out a list of the characteristics of you in 5 years, like a more mature version of you. But this list, what am I hearing? What am I hearing? This list has to be a list of things. Oh gosh, give me 1 second. The message is like not coming through. 1 second. All right, sorry. The message is like kind of like staticky here, but what I'm hearing is that this list has a lot to do with your masculine energy. So this has to be a list of things that you can actually take action towards. There we go. This is an action-oriented list. There we go. There we go. The messages were not coming through. This is an action-oriented list. So this is a list of like, in the next 5 years, I would like to travel here. In the next 5 years, I would like to donate this amount of money to this organization. Like, it's things that are actually practical that you can actually take action towards. Like, I'm sure there's other like areas of life that you can make these lists about that are not like action oriented, like just certain ways that maybe you want to expand your mind and things of that sort. But this is like, I'm hearing that this has to be action oriented, like things that you actually want to get up and physically accomplish. I'm not sure why that is necessarily. It could be because Scorpio energy, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, but also by Mars, if I'm not mistaken. And when I think about Mars, I think about masculine energy and I think about action. So it very well could be transformation through action. So this list is going to be an action oriented list. I really hope that that makes sense. And if you write this during Scorpio full moon, and I'm hearing don't burn it, because usually these lists I hear like write them out and then burn it. Don't burn this list. Actually make this list and actually read it every single day. Don't skip a day. Keep it in your wallet, keep it under your pillow, keep it in your phone, keep it somewhere where you can see it every single day, but an action-oriented list during this full moon energy, and then actually take action towards it. I really hope that that makes sense. And these have to be, and I'm hearing to actually write out a list of things that are outside of your comfort zone. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that message was fighting hard to get through. So this is a list of things that you would like to accomplish in the next 5 years. And the list of things is going to be compiled of characteristics that you would like to incorporate into your life in the next 5 years. Okay, so for example, let's say 5 years from now, you want to be someone who is well-educated and well-traveled. The list that you're going to write is a list of things that a well-educated, well-traveled person would accomplish. So for example, maybe taking a free online course would be on your list. Maybe taking a road trip across the country would be on your list. So write out who you would like to be in the next 5 years, and then actually write out action-oriented things and goals that match who you would like to be and actually take charge of them and actually do them within the next 5 years. Okay. So, and these things have to be outside of your comfort zone. If they're too comfortable, then there will be no growth, is what I'm hearing. All right. So that was interesting. That was the first time I ever channeled like a actual activity. I'm going to just pull one more card just to wrap this reading up. All right, so I pulled 3 cards to wrap this up. I pulled the Rebel card, the Beyond Illusion card, and the Awareness card. All right, so with the Beyond Illusion card, I'm getting a very strong message. Usually when we hear about full moons, especially with Scorpio, with it being a Scorpio, we think about breaking through any type of illusions, secrets being revealed, deep pain, deep transformation. It doesn't have to be that. It does not have to be that. With the Beyond Illusion card here, I feel like some of you, it's more of like a slow, gradual coming to terms with things with this Scorpio full moon. I don't feel like it'll be like this big bang where something's revealed and you have to drastically shift your life. I feel like this is something that is like has been slowly but surely coming to the surface already. So I don't really feel like you have much to fear. It just feels like there are epiphanies that are taking place that have been in the works for a long time. There are problems that you've had for a long time that you've been trying to see your way out of. And this full moon energy is more of like a breakthrough rather than like this big bang or this big epiphany. You know what I'm saying? So don't be in fear is what I'm hearing. There's no need to fear, because I know that a lot of times online we'll see like, oh, Scorpio full moon, get ready for something to be revealed. And sometimes it's really not that drastic, nor is it that serious, but it'll be powerful enough that it will help you to change the course of your life and to change direction. But I'm feeling like it has already been in the works. It's already been happening slowly but surely. I am seeing just a lot of you becoming, much more self-aware. But you've already been on this journey of becoming more self-aware. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's not this huge, shakeup. It's not like this big thing that's going to be like earth shattering for you. So there's no need for you to be in fear. Whatever takes place, like especially within these next couple of weeks, just remember that you have the power and the ability to handle anything and all things that come to you, no matter what comes your way. It can be used for your higher good, for your highest good. It can be used to help you transform into the best version of yourself. It can be used to help you to reclaim your peace of mind. No matter how far off track you've gotten, no matter how much chaos has manifested itself into your life, you can always use that chaos and turn it around and find your peace again, is what I'm seeing. So that's what I'm seeing here. After the Scorpio full moon, I'm seeing a lot of you will have an opportunity to rest, because you've been in a state of chaos, or you've been in this state of stagnancy, and you have not rested for a long time. Not mentally or emotionally or spiritually, you have not rested. And for some of you, with the Scorpio full moon, with the solutions that it will give you, with the clarity that it will give you, you will find peace. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. I wish you the best of luck moving forward on your journey. Just please try your best to stay encouraged and make sure you're walking in faith and do not walk in fear. And I will see you guys in my next reading. Bye.